Yeah, so one of the things that we were going over in the last video so this will be on my channel and yours. So like I said, my last audio didn't work, but we talked about how they think a lot of the browbeating and complaining about everything is working, but it's really not. And just like I said with the most recent you know vote in the UK, like most, it just almost the entire fucking country voted for conservative way, and that's even like moderates and people who are like moderately liberal. They're like, dude, I just want to get my money. I want to not pay my, like, just whatever, get it over with. So they all
Yeah,
voted for they all voted Tory. You know what I mean? Even I guess Nigel Farage was like, don't vote for the UK for Brexit. You just go vote for the Tories so we can get the fuck out of here. And now they're
yeah.
shocked, like, it's like, oh my god, there's a bunch of racist concern. It's just like whatever. And I'm like, you probably walked past 55 of these people today at this train station or going away to work, and you probably don't know because they're the same. Like they get it, or maybe they're just they
So
don't.
pissed off with the political process. I mean, I think that's the major part of what happened in the UK. I mean, our election, I think, was the 12th of December, and we uploaded videos prior to that, before that, saying that I read an article for the Houston Current, which is a Houston, Texas-based news outlet, and I read an article for them, and I said that the title was the Labour Party are about to suffer the biggest defeat in history,
Yeah.
because and they did, and the reason why people voted Conservative was because they were done with the flip flopping. They were done.
Flip flopping.
Even people that voted Remain, people that I know personally, that were very very passionate about about staying in the in the European Union. They, at the end of the 3 years of dilly dallying and lies and deceit and backstabbing and back and forth with votes to the House of Commons and House of Lords and all this other BS, they were just done with it. And they said, "Do you know what? I didn't vote for Brexit, but all I want to do now is know where our country is headed and plan my future accordingly. Do I get out the country? Do I stay and start a business? Do I?" And that's what people, either side of the coin, people were just done with the political BS, and that's what united the country. And I think that's why Conservatives got a big vote. And like you said, the Nigel Farage with the Brexit Party actually strategic voting took out Labour strongholds that they've held for decades.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like your Star Wars analogy. It's like hit the Death Star. And we were looking at towns and cities in the UK like Manchester and London that were heavy Labour, and we split the vote and strategic voting in this country, as well as people actually just saying, like, a major part of it was people just saying, you know, I've had enough, and I want to move forward. I don't want 3 more years of votes about with EU and Scottish referendums and all of this BS. I want to get it over with. And now our country has voted for that. We're in a perfect, brilliant position now where we can determine our own future, where we can make our own laws. And as I said in the previous video, Sally Javid and Boris Johnson have made some huge announcements in the last couple of days on the fact that there is going to be, or in effect, a no deal if Brussels play games,
Hey, let it be.
because trade deals are open everywhere. And I saw an article. I'll shut up in a minute. But I saw an article on Bloomberg about the UK might not want to do a trade deal with America, and I'm looking at it from Bloomberg as well, like the Financial Times, big publications, and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, and I printed it off, and I've got it in my stack here actually somewhere, and I'll look for it in a minute, but it's it's just naysaying, you know. It's like, do you think that the UK is going to turn a trade deal down with America? Of course we're not. Well, because one publication that was pro Remain so hard and they're so good that they lost are going to
Yeah.
write
Oh,
some.
it's in this one magazine. It must be true.
Oh
Like.
yeah. I mean, like Greta Thunberg was on Time Person of the Year. I mean, she's going to be she's going to be the best person on the planet, right?
Yeah, seriously. It's funny because this is one of the things that I said like back in 2016 when they started, like 2015, 2016, they started talking about Brexit or whatever. They're like, oh no, what if they do their trade deal, then they won't do this. And I'm like, I say this to people, and I'm like, do you think that I use this analogy because it's like people in America, they're hip and doing all this stuff, and I'm like, think about this. let's say it was the same thing, but it was with Germany, right? And America wasn't going to do deals with Germany, or no one was going to do deals with Germany. I was like, do you think people in America that want to be cool, like rappers and like all these famous celebrities, you think they're going to stop buying these foreign cars just because some political deal went through? Like, we're not going to deal with them. Like, no, people are still going to want their cars. People are still going to want their beer. They're still going to want their clothes. They're still going to want whatever. Like, people are still going to want it. So to sit there and say, oh, we can't make a deal with them because some uptight fucking crooked mouth yuppie clown in Brussels or Washington D.C. or somewhere else said we can't do this. So I guess I just don't want these fancy cars anymore. I guess I just don't want all this you know Gucci
Well,
bags and all this stuff.
it's perfect example. I think of the same thing when I think of like the CEO of Audi, and I just imagine to myself, Alex, what would you do if you were the CEO of Audi and you were told that Angela Merkel was going to cripple Britain in the in the economy, and we're going to raise prices on imports of German cars, manufactured cars to Britain, and as an Audi CEO that I'm earning, I don't know, conservatively what, $500 million a year, I would take a 200, 300 million, billion a year dip in sales globally because we're
Just
going to sell less cars
for
because
them
of
to have a
something
political
Angela
victory
Merkel
that
said.
doesn't mean anything.
I mean, the CEOs in money talks is the real thing. In money, whether people like it or not, money does rule the roost. And CEOs that are worth, millions are going to look at somebody like Angela Merkel and say, we're not going to follow, we've just lost X amount of money. We're not going to follow your legislation on your import tariffs or your export tariffs. Like every company, if you were a European company right now, you'd think I'm earning this amount from Britain. If I raise prices, or if the government or the country I'm with raises prices on trade on imports to the UK, and therefore my sales dip, who am I going to be mad at? The British consumer or the people that enforce the higher import tariffs
Yeah,
or the
right.
higher?
Seriously,
It's a joke.
does it
It's a
need to
joke.
be answered? Right.
It's a joke. But and that's why Britain's in such a powerful position because with the EU, because we buy so much from them. Granted that they think that we supply them, but half the stuff they supply, if we got off our ass, we could actually manufacture ourselves.
Yeah. Especially
And
like
that's just a boom for Britain because what's around the corner is either cheaper or the same what we've got, but better trade deals for us, or fuck yours, we'll manufacture our own, we'll boost our own economy, and that's killing two birds with one stone. You boost your own economy, you create business in your own economy, you keep money in your own country, you don't have to deal with the EU for steel because we can have our steel plants back. You didn't have to deal with the EU on farming or fisheries. Guess what? Because we got our farmers and because our farms and our fisheries back. Half of our fish go to France and other European countries because it's a free for all. And that's a tiny,
yeah.
tiny industry when you think of everything as a whole. It's like this map is a country. The fisheries is this one here. Do you know what I'm saying? And all these other countries are different industries, whether it's automobiles or technology or green gas or green energy or whatever it may be. Fisheries is one tiny, thing that the UK has to make money off of, and half of that right now, or more than half, in fact, goes towards the European Union. Well, when all of that's changed, it's money coming back into our country.
Yeah, you don't have to pay them all the fees and all the EU fees, like the monthly fee and like the
Yeah, the
yearly.
monthly membership payment. I mean, it's like a posh elitist club. Like I'm going to go to the golf club with my dad, and we have to pay in Sandbanks £20,000 a year to be a member of this fucking golf club.
And you don't
And
even
it's like
golf. You're not even allowed in.
it's like Britain. It's like we have to pay 35 million a week to be a membership of the EU. It's a membership fee. While our own national health service and while our own transport system and while suffer.
How much is it a week or a month?
35. I think it's. Do you know what? I'll Google it in a minute, but I think it's something like. It's something ridiculous. It's like third. It's three. It's like third. It's either 35 or 350 million a week that we pay as a membership payment. to the EU.
That's ignorant, bro. That's like the most ignorant thing I've ever, because I remember they're sitting there saying like it was just like a stat because like I said, for going for like American audience versus UK audience, a lot of people don't know like how much it costs to be a member. Like they don't, most people don't know you have to be a member, you have to pay fees and do all these other things. They try to do the same thing here, like, oh, you got to do some UN stuff. Most people here are like, no, no one cares, and like it's really hard to get it on here, but I guess it's easier there. But the thing is, I watched a video a couple years ago on South Front. They were talking about how once the UK is not paying into the fees for the European Union, or whatever, then now
Mm-hmm.
the burden is going to fall on other states to have to
Oh, of course,
shore up
yeah,
the rest of
Poland
that
and
money.
Hungary. And then they're gonna, and that's what I mean. That's why it's gonna be a house of cards because once people see that you can leave the EU, you can have everything you had with them. You can have everything. You can have trade, you can have student exchange programs, you can enjoy each other's cultures, but you can make your own law, you save yourself a small fortune, and you put your country first as well as helping others. But ultimately you put your country first because only a strong country can build up other countries.